Going over some basic terminology. That way, if you see it in your program, you understand what it actually means and what's going on and how to actually execute it. So I'm excited to share this with you today. I think it'll clear up some confusion if you have any at all. So the first thing I really want to go over is just the difference between sets and reps, right? So a set is a combination of how many reps you do at one time. So if you have 3 sets of 10 reps, a repetition is simply 1, 2, I'm mimicking a bench press. It's how many times you go up and down and how many times you perform that movement. So a set would be 10 reps or 10 executions of that movement. If you have a 3, 2, 1, whatever it is, that's how many times you're gonna go through that set. And there will be typically a given rest period with that. Pretty simple, pretty basic. I want to dive into the different types of sets you can do, specifically the different type of supersets you can do, the different schemes, strategies, that way you guys understand them if you see them in your program. So a superset is simply picking 2 exercises of either antagonistic muscle groups, so think like, you know, your hamstrings and then your quads, they're opposite of each other. Or it can be a superset of accessory lifts. So you can do an accessory or a superset of, say, like bench press, which hits the chest, along with another exercise that maybe stimulates more of the front part of the delt or the tricep, because those help aid in that movement. So there are many different types of supersets. There's pre-exhaustion sets, which is where you go through and you do an exercise to like really get the burn going, and then you go into your main, you know, lift. So for example, like if you're gonna do a bunch of banded curls as a pre-exhaustion set and then go into like heavy hammer curls, that would be a pre-exhaustion. There's also post-exhaustion, which is simply the opposite. That's typically what more supersets are. So that's if you went and did, you know, say barbell bench, and then right afterwards went and did as many push-ups as you can or something. That is that pre or that post-exhaustion. You already stimulated the muscle fibers as much as you can with that main exercise, and then you just like wiped it out with that post-exhaustion set. So other types of sets in this like superset kind of quote-unquote family would be a drop set. A drop set is something that you typically add at the end of a exercise that you've selected. So keep it simple, say bicep curls, right? Barbell bicep curls. You maybe have 3 sets of 15 and the last set is a drop set. That drop set, you would keep that same weight and try to do it for as many reps as possible, and then you would go 5 to 10 pounds heavier, do as many reps as possible, 5 to 10 reps, or 5 to 10 pounds lighter, go as many reps as possible, and you're doing that until you can't complete the reps anymore, and you just like completely wipe out your arms or the muscle group that you did. So you're just simply decreasing the weight, trying to get as many reps as possible, or sometimes they will have a prescribed like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 on them, and you'll just drop the weight, do 10 reps, drop the weight, 10 reps, but it's all one right after each other with no rest in between. The next one is a pyramid set. So pyramid sets or structure typically look like this. You'll have a higher number at the front, so say 12, then you'll go to 10, maybe then 8, then 6, and then you'll work your way back up with like an 8, then 10, then 12. So you'll go down and then up. Some of your sets may simply just be straight down, but that is typically a pyramid set. The reason why you use these is because we're able to work through different spectrums of the different types of muscle fibers and different types of goals that maybe we want. If we want to like build muscle and strength at the same time, we can do some of these 10 or 12, 10, 8, 6, so we can hit the top end of the spectrum of the strength and focus more on hypertrophy, and then work it down to that like really strong aspect. So really good. I really enjoy pyramid sets as a personal thing. But the next one is giant sets. Giant sets are basically a superset with 1 to 2 more exercises. So, a superset could have been bicep curls to, triceps, right? A giant set will be bicep curls to triceps to another tricep or another bicep exercise. So 3 to 4, you're just going boom, 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 one right after another, no rest, completing all the reps with that. The next one is a complex. So a complex is a series of exercises that you put together to target one type of muscle group or one type of energy system. So you can have like a shoulder complex. It's just a fancy way of saying like a circuit basically. So a shoulder complex could be front raise, lateral raise, reverse raise. You know, there's no real set amount of how many exercises are going to be there. It can be anywhere from like 3 to 5 to 6 to 7. It's just a fancy way of saying circuit basically. Now, other things we need to understand about our program is that if you see tempo in there, which will typically look like this, you'll have your, say, 3 sets of 10 reps, and then next to it, or in the description, it'll say like a tempo of, say, 4, 4, 1, right? So this is these numbers represent the number of seconds that you're going to be doing something. So this would be the lowering phase, right? Then it would be the holding phase, and then the all the way up. So eccentric, pause, and then concentric, or lowering, pausing, lifting is a simple way to think about it. So it'd be 4 seconds down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 second hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 1 second up. That would be challenging. The next thing is about intensity. These two are super important, especially as you get more and more into this. RPE, right? RPE means rate of perceived exertion. So rate of perceived exertion. So that's effort, intensity, right? This isn't a 1 to 10 scale, with 1 being like super, super easy, 10 being like I can't breathe, I can't do another rep or I'm gonna die basically. So typically you're gonna see a lot of your workouts around the 7 to 8 range, but rating this also lets you know, or let the coaches know how you're progressing, right? So if you're consistently, say on your program you have back squats for 225 pounds, and you rate the workout or the exercise as a 9 out of 10 the first time, that lets us know, okay, whoa, maybe that was like too much weight for him, or too hard of an exercise, or him or her. But then as the weeks progress, you stay at 225 and you're like, oh, it's a 5 now. For me, that signals like we need to increase the weight, and it should for you. You should always be floating around that 7 to 8 range, thinking like I need to hold like 2 to 3 reps like left in the tank, you know, with that. And then 1 RM means 1 rep max, and you'll typically, so 1 rep max is just how much weight you can lift at one go. It doesn't matter how fast, how slow, it's just absolute strength. So as you get more and more into the advanced programming and things like that, you'll typically see 1 rep maxes as a percentage, right? So say my max bench press is, I'll keep it simple, 200 pounds, right? We would prescribe, or in your workout, you just have the 3 sets of 10 reps of bench. Next would be the rest in between the sets, and if it says at right here and it says 75, say percent, you would then know, okay, my 1 rep max is 200 pounds divided by 0.7 or whatever, 75, and you would get 150, I believe. So you'd be doing all of your sets at 150 pounds. Don't worry, we'll take care of all this math and stuff for you, but that is how it breaks down, because we use these percentages to help us gear the exercise selection and the weights that we're using and the intensity that we're using to get you the right response, whether that be building up your power, explosive speed, or muscle building, or your muscular endurance, different things like that. That's what we use these for as we get more and more into the advanced stuff. So these are some of the simple terminologies and things to understand. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.